All right, Steve, good to be with you today. I think it was over a decade ago, maybe 11 years, we were getting ready for SoundQuest, the first one. What after all this time has led to this SoundQuest 2021?
Right. Well, that time absolutely flies when you're having fun and when you're working at the level at which we work at. It seems like just yesterday that we had this beautiful theater in Tucson, and it was just coming out of the whole financial meltdown in 2010. So we were in a different state there, but it was precarious. Not sure, if people were ready to come out into the world and come to an event and fly and spend money and hotels and all that stuff. So I produced that event and was taking a pretty big chance with that and brought in artists, a great roster of artists, and you and I had already been working and together and working towards the launch of the immersion station for the iPhone, and so that was at that moment in time, it was a great time to really present what was a very innovative app at that point, which was taking 5 different sound worlds and in this dimension that you created for the phone, being a software artist that you are, and you're also, of course, doing with Danny the tech behind the scenes here for SoundQuest Fest this year. But so anyway, at that point we launched the immersion station. We had this international roster of artists, and it was a big success. The fans came out, listeners, and just a family of people from all over the country, and it set the momentum going. And then the momentum after that was to come back and visit that and do it, every couple of years. And best laid plans, other events coming along, albums, just the momentum of life driving you forward. And I just kept thinking each year, well, we're going to do it again this year, and then something else would come forward. So
yeah, and and doing it this year obviously presents some unique challenges and opportunities. I think it'd be really good to tell people what's different about this. How are you doing this one? What's changed, and what are some of those challenges, but also some of the opportunities that are coming out of this?
Right. So obviously, because we can't gather in spaces right now because of the pandemic, the opportunity that was presented really out of that whole experience this past year, where I was doing live streaming concerts right out of the Timeroom here, and that all started with my collaborator Serena Gabriel, who I've been working with for the last year, and she's a Tucson-based artist that's multi-talented and just has this ability to just go for it. I mean, in terms of like the streaming and the filming, and she brought that whole piece to the table here. And so we had 3 or 4 successful streaming concerts that we did, and I started talking again about SoundQuest Fest, and when things straighten out, we'll get back out and do it. And then she just instantly said, well, let's do it, a virtual online version. And it was like, absolutely, that's a great idea. And so then it just the momentum started building very quickly, and we went through the list of artists and started building that whole piece, and then shared the ideas with you, and then really the momentum just took off. And so the technical challenges were, at first, I don't think we were just looking at bringing everyone together, and then the thing started to expand, and then Timeroom TV, and then 4 hours a night, and then 2 hours DJ sets afterwards, and then the reincarnated new version of Immersion Station into now the Immersion Zone. So then it's turned into this, really very ambitious and very cool production team of all of us working together. And so that in itself has been an amazing learning experience, very quickly, I think, for all of us. And it's also, I think it's brought a whole other piece to the table that I had not considered, if not for what we've been living through for the last year, in terms of the idea of playing live, taking the gear out, all of that energy, immense amount of energy to do that. When you see like the recent concert from Phoenix or any of the concerts out in the world I'm doing, that's a whole other piece that's off the chart. So to be able to coalesce that all of that energy and put it into this piece with this international list of very cool, amazing people, and to be working at this level, and then to put it out, for the whole world to experience that kind of piece, I think is very unique for this kind of music, especially that we can create this immersive, exciting, interchange with the community and around the world and with each other. And now I feel like when the smoke clears, so to speak, when the virus, does what it's going to do, and we get back out there and whatever that time is, then, I'm thinking that what we've learned here will build to the momentum and build to a whole other aspect of when we play out live again. So there's, so many layers to this that have been really positive, along with the feeling, knowing that we're putting out something that's, really nourishing and supportive for the audience and for us.
One thing that you mentioned is the technology challenge that we've kind of had to undergo to actually think about carrying on a 3-day streamed event online. And one of the things that came out of figuring that out really was kind of the reinvention of the Immersion Station app that we did start and actually announced at the first SoundQuest. And I think what's happened there is we've gone from an individual experience app that allows you to stream your music in an infinite way as long as you want, to more of a, I would think of it almost as a community experience is what I'm seeing. But maybe you could kind of tell people a little more about the Immersion Zone, this reinvention of that app, and what that's about and what we're seeing there.
Right. Well, it started in like two different directions for this particular moment. Again, in speaking with you about the evolution of the Immersion app that we had, and how you were facing the task of having to rewrite that and get it updated for the new phones and that sort of thing, and how much time and energy that would take. That was in the middle of everything we've got going. That was pretty monumental, I know for you. And at the same time, it felt like, well, we've really had a long, great run with that. But the energy of what's going on now with these live streaming channels, and again, Serena introduced those channels to me recently, where you have these meditation channels that just go on forever. And it was a world I was really not tuned into, and certainly am now, and seeing, all of these different immersive experiential zones that people can use in all kinds of ways to create supportive space. So very quickly, you and I just put our heads together and said, well, let's take this immersion station into the Immersion Zone and create this ongoing 24/7, 365 experience of this deep sanctuary of supportive, immersive soundscapes, which is what the iPhone app certainly was. But now we combined it with this visual aspect that you and Danny brought to the table, where we have this constantly evolving, propagating visual piece that I know we're talking about changing that out every so often, but just have that whole piece there. And now we're seeing, the audience is just like coming in there, and there's a chat going on there if folks want to check in. And it just, again, it's another, like the neighborhood corner ambient cafe, which for years living in Tucson, I had this inspiration or this idea to have a place that would have this kind of vibe, where you'd go in there and you'd have this quality of music playing, and people would be hanging out, and they'd be having, some exotic special elixirs that you're drinking or whatever. And it would just create this kind of sense of connectedness and heightened connection between each other. So I'm feeling, there's that potential here, and of course, in a global sense, to create that kind of destination point. And, we're already seeing it as people are starting to discover it. And of course, we're refining it and defining it as we go along each day, just, checking in on it and seeing what's working and what we can do to take it into, the next level kind of place. So that is the outgrowth of the iPhone app. Is now we have this portal, and I love the thought of this thing going on forever. I mean, as long as the internet is up and running globally, and whether I'm here or not, at some point when checkout time appears, then it's a cool feeling to know that the Merchant Station could just be running till whenever the end of time is. So I'll just have some friends that'll keep propagating it. But so it's a cool thing. I'm really excited that we're able to, in this span of time since SoundQuest Fest, the original one, to bridge that gap of time with this version of it now. Thank you for that, Eric. And everything you guys are doing here at SoundQuest Fest. So,
it's our pleasure. It is great to see the immersion zone up, and the two surprises for me are people who are finally able to communicate to you what the music means to them as they hear it, but also the community that's forming around it. People are saying goodnight to each other on it and things like that, which is very interesting. But there seems to be a community building around it.
And so as we sign off here, the community that's built around this quality of music and what it brings to each individual's life in their own unique way, and what we all get from that kind of feeling that the music can offer, and which is just completely unique to every single person, and how that manifests inside of them. So I think this weekend we are able to really feel that, again, in a whole other way that I know it's going to continue to feed the energy and inspiration for what comes next. So I'm really grateful to be in partnership with you, with this great team that we have with you and Danny and Serena, and the background of all the cast of characters that are in there. So I think we're making something happen that's, I'm just really excited about and grateful to have the support. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Steve. It's a great team, and it's our pleasure to do this work. And it's always good to be with you.
Thank you. You too. We'll see you soon.
All right.